Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. This is not a normal show. This is not a new show. We're going to be specifically addressing accusations by the media, not the DOJ, aimed at Yes California. We'll be covering what they're saying extensively, what it means, what it doesn't mean, and how, once again, the media is misinterpreting it. So I just want to point out, yes, California has always cooperated with law enforcement. We will continue to always continue that behavior and always cooperate with them. Secondly, we are not commenting on what the DOJ said or what the government said. We are commenting on what the media said. Not DOJ, not the indictment, media. Not DOJ, not the indictment, media. Not commenting on the DOJ, not commenting on an ongoing investigation, not commenting on the government, commenting on the media. Want to make sure that's clear. So let's get right into it. This is the article going around right now. California's secession movement was funded and directed by Russian intelligence agents, the U.S. government alleges. That's not actually what the indictment says. So I'll show you. They are mostly focusing on Louis Marinelli because he was connected to Alexander Viktorovich Ianov, who helped organize the independence conferences that Yes California did go to when Louis was around. But I want to get to right. It identified the leader of a secession movement as UIC6, meaning an unidentified co-conspirator who resided in Russian California, and described the organization they founded as U.S. Political Group 3, which was focused on California secession, according to the indictment. So everybody's suggesting, I don't know because the indictment doesn't say, but everybody's suggesting that UI6 is Louis Marinelli, unindicted co-conspirator 6, and that U.S. Political Group 3 is Cal Exit or Yes California. They don't say that and they don't mention that. So what's key is that we are not mentioned. It's U.S. Political Group 3. That's all they say. Now, they do talk about how we had a rally in 2018. That was our famous time to file for divorce on Valentine's Day rally in 2018. Ianov reviewed posters and encouraged the group leaders to embrace protest tactics that could lead to violence. So the thing is that if you know Yes California, we don't do violence, never have done that. We have great relations with the CHP officers who run the Capitol Permits thing. So this comment that he would encourage us to do violence or that it would go no anywhere is ridiculous. We don't do that. We've never done that. And if you read down in the article, he also said Ianov said we want to physically enter the governor's office. We never did that. Then he wired the person. So see how it says the person, not the organization? See how it says the person, not the organization? He wired $500 to the person, not the organization, in the indictment. That's what they claim. The group did not end up storming the governor's office, of course. And we did not have a violent rally, of course. Louis Marinelli has denied any wrongdoing and said he's no longer associated with the California secessionist movement. That's exactly what we said from the day that there was the Kyle Rittenhouse post at Yes California, which caused the business divorce between myself and Jason and Louis. So Louis is saying he's not associated with the movement. We have been saying Louis is not associated with the movement. So both we and Louis are both saying Louis is not associated with the movement and has not been for a while. Additionally, there was no violent protest at the Valentine's Day event, and nobody stormed the governor's capitol, nor do we do things like that anyways. Let me show you the protest that day.
Californians want out of this union. It's a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional household, an abusive relationship. So right now we're walking to file our petition, which is here. for a political divorce from the federal government. This will allow for Californians to take a vote petition to have California secede from the United States and become an independent republic. Right. We're going to go file paperwork. We can't have everybody in. They don't like that. So take photos. We'll be back in just a minute. All right. Yeah.
So this is when we filed the paperwork. It's more just the same. I want to point this out here, if I can. So these are the graphics that were made that supposedly the newspaper is saying were ran by Ionov. I just want to point out that that's standard stuff that we say all the time. The relationship between California and America is not working. America, we need to talk. Hey, let's have a divorce. Because early on, we had the idea of comparing California secession as a family event. So we used to talk about how there was a teenager and they grew up to become an adult and they wanted to move out of mom and dad's house. That was one analogy. Another one we had was a woman beaten by her husband. Another one we had was a couple who just wanted to have a divorce, not get into violence, stop the violence, stop it before things were getting worse because they were arguing with each other, and then just have a separation. So I don't know what they're getting at, because this is standard stuff that we say all the time. This is language we've been using all the time. So this idea that we got original insight from somebody to say stuff that we've been saying all the time is ridiculous. These are standard talking points that existed all the time. Secondly, let's look at all these folks here. These are regular Californians, okay? So, and the indictment doesn't mention any of them or seems to mention any of them. I know half these people. I was there that day. Nobody was funded. Nobody was talking about Russia. These are regular folks who were scared of Donald Trump and the America that he represents. So that's the horrible, nasty, wicked event that the media is suggesting was directed and funded by Russia. So none of these people were paid by Russia. I wasn't paid by Russia. These are standard messaging, and this doesn't look that nefarious, nor did we storm anything, nor there was any attempt to even think about violence. The suggestion is simply ridiculous. Okay, getting back to the thing. So he says he's no longer associated with us. We say this not. Marinelli also denied that Ionov exercised direction and control over YesCA California. Also asserting the group did not benefit from any tangible support. He also said Ionov did not provide funds to the event. This is what Marinelli said. This is already public information. I am not commenting on the indictment. I am not providing new insight or anything. I'm simply covering information that's already widely publicly available. So Lewis is denying all these allegations. And I'm telling you, I never saw any money. We never saw anything. And also the indictment doesn't even mention us. The indictment specifically goes around mentioning us. Whoops, I think we lost the thing. So you'll notice that here we go. We'll just go over the indictment in specific. But the indictment did provide strong clues. It identified the leader of the secession movement as UIC6, meaning the identified co-conspirator who resided in Russia and California, and described the organization they founded as a U.S. political group, right? See, so they don't say, yes, California received money or direction. They say Louis Marinelli received money and direction. So when you say the movement was funded and directed by Russian intelligence agents, that's not actually what the indictment says. So the indictment very clearly says UIC6 is accused of receiving direction and money. It does not say unidentified political organization for California secession was receiving money or direction. It says someone else was. So that's key. So this headline by the media right here is a lie. The indictment did not say that the secession movement was funded and directed by Russian intelligence agents. The indictment suggested that a person within the organization was funded and directed. And that person denies it And that person says they didn't have association with us. Again, not covered in the news, and also not what the indictment says. Wanted to point out how they were lying. Again, we're not saying the DOJ is lying. We're not commenting on the indictment. We're not commenting on an existing investigation. We're pointing out how the media is already misinterpreting what was said. There you go. UIC 6. And these are more of the lies. I just showed you how that's ridiculous. We never do violence. Our posters are standard talking points. Nobody does that for us. We did not storm the Capitol. Marinelli said he's no longer associated with this, hasn't been since Rittenhouse. You know that. That's very public here in an organization. Marinelli also said that they did not exercise direction and control. That's also what the indictment itself suggested. The media is just not saying that. Secondly, how could Russia be or Lewis be running the organization if he wasn't president since July 4th, 2017? So if you go back to July 4th, 2017, here at Yes California, on our Twitter and on our Facebook, it very publicly says that I'm boss, I'm running everything, he works for me. So July 4th, 2017, we publicly said, I'm boss, he's not boss, I'm running everything, and he has to run everything by me. How's he leader then? Secondly, just to make that real clear, here's an article from the LA Times. And let's see if we can. So here's an article, LA Times. Came out July 2018. That's 4 years ago, July 2018. And it says in the LA Times. Second. Hold on. It's here. Redirecting resources to the new proposal, said Marcus Ruiz-Evans, president of Yes California. So we told everybody that I was new boss, I was head cheese, I was running everything July 4th, 2017. Here's the LA Times in July 31st, 2018, a year later, saying that. That directly contradicts the newspaper headline. So how did we say that I'm running things and major publications also said that I'm running things, but then the news now says I wasn't running things? It's almost like they didn't look at our page. They didn't look at the LA Times. By the way, LA Times is a much bigger newspaper than Business Insider. So Business Insider, are you saying the LA Times lied or got it wrong? And also, are you saying that our posts on Facebook and Twitter and that we announced the media saying that I was in charge from July 4th, 2017 are also wrong? So again, not covered by the media. They're not mentioning this. You know, Lewis wasn't actually in charge. He wasn't actually the leader. The indictment doesn't actually say the organization received direction money. It says Lewis did. Lewis himself denies that. And he also says he was not part of us during this time or the last couple of months. And that's also what we said. All conveniently left out completely. So let's get to our, and here's what they're doing. I want to show you this real quick. So do you remember this article? Russian trolls promoted California independence. Here's the article. Russian trolls promoted California independence November 4th, 2017. That's when the attacks started coming. Russian trolls promoted California independence. That's what the headline says, right? It looks like Russia backed all of California independence online. That's not actually what the article says. Here you go. Although this tweet was repeated 10,000 times, nearly 2,000 of those accounts have since disappeared. That means 8,000 or 80% was real. So see, here's the headline. Russian trolls promoted California independence. That leads everybody, because I had everyone calling me, to believe that that means Russia backed the whole Calixa thing online. All of it's fake and all of it's from Russia. That's not what happened. And you have to read and read and read and read and read some more and then read some more. Oh, and there's the actual truth. 20% and 80% were regular Californians. So 20% of Calixa was pushed by Russian robots and 80% was pushed by real life Californians. Kind of the same trick, right? They're doing the same thing all over again. So So let me show you again. Russian trolls promoted California independence. California secession movement was funded and directed by Russian intelligence agents. No. The indictment says a individual, not the organization, was funded and directed by Russian intelligence agents, and he accuses that. The U.S. government never actually said that. The U.S. government never said this. They said a person. So here's the headline. Then you have to read that it's all about Lewis, and you have to read the specific stuff saying they didn't mention the organization. They talked about U.S. Political Group 3, but they were actually talking about UIC6 doing the action. So here's the information. Headline, read, truth. Headline, read, truth. See the game they're playing? They just don't expect you to read. You're not going to read the headlines. So you're just going to go with what they said. All right. Here is our standard statement, and this should really pound everything home. So, yes, California can't comment on an ongoing investigation. Yes, he has always worked with law enforcement as they requested and will also continue. What is important to note is that the Yes California organization was already investigated 4 times. That's 4 times. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. 3 federal investigations found no evidence. That's a big fat 0. Evidence, Yes California coordinating with the foreign government. 1 state investigation found no evidence of money from a foreign government. The 5th investigation by the DOJ, that one now, is not looking at Yes California because we were already cleared, but it's focused just on the person of Lewis. This is because the organization was already investigated over many years and they found nothing. So they had to focus the investigation on a person because they found nothing on the organization. See how that works? 3 federal investigations, which we'll cover, said nothing. 1 state investigation that subpoenaed our bank account said nothing. So now we're looking at the 5th investigation. And if you notice, and I showed you the wording, they don't say the organization did anything. They said an individual. Now, why are they doing that? Because they can't. They would have to contradict the 3 other federal investigations and the state investigation to make that sort of claim. That's why they're not doing it. So they're specifically, if you look at the DOJ, if you look at the indictment, they're specifically not doing what the media says. They are specifically not suggesting us because they can't, because it would go up against 4 other investigations, 3 of which are federal. So they are not and cannot talk about our org because we were cleared. They are talking about a individual and saying maybe he did that, maybe, and he denies that. So want to be clear. Newspaper headlines, total lie. DOJ is not suggesting our organization took money or direction. They're suggesting a person. And the reason they can't do that is because we were already cleared by multiple investigations and they would contradict themselves. Here are those 4 investigations. April 29th, DOJ Mueller report. No evidence any U.S. person knowingly coordinated with the IRA. September 2019, Senate Select Intelligence Committee. The IRA co-opted unwitting Americans. It did not control or direct them. January 2020, California FPPC case. That's California Fair Political Practices Case Commission number 2018-1101. Subpoenaed bank accounts for allegations of, quote, laundered foreign contributions, quote, that ended with, quote, allegations have been disproven. Subpoenaed bank accounts, thought we had all the Russian money. Allegations disproven, case dropped. May 2020. Now, this case started earlier, but we went with this date because that's when all the information came out. House Permanent Select Intelligence Committee review of advertisements from 2015, 2016, 2017, the height of Russian interference. No evidence of Yes California being part of any of that. By the way, no one in the media bothered to interview us about this new indictment or anything related to it. No one talked to us. They just printed the headline that, we're being indicted, which is a total lie and not what it says and easily disproven. And they did not bother to talk to any of us. This kind of fits the pattern because we had about 35 reporters suggest that Yes, California was a Russian-backed organization. And after we got cleared by those 4 separate investigations, I personally emailed 35 reporters. I personally emailed 35 reporters and said, here's the sources, here's the quotes, here's what they say. Can you at least print an addendum? Guess how many of those reporters even bothered to reply? Yeah. So 35 reporters could suggest our organization was funded and directed by Russia, but when 4 separate investigations, 3 federal, 1 state, and subpoena bank accounts came out, not one of them would print that information or even respond. Guess that's called fair journalism. It's kind of like that BBC article. Oh, Russia-backed CalExit online, 20%, and 80% or 4/5 was regular old plain Californians. I see there's comments. I'll get to that in a second. Let me check. I need to cover a few more things first, and I'll get right to comments. So that's the article proving I was president, which somehow nobody can mention and kind of contradicts the thing that Lewis was running things since the LA Times said it. We said it on our page. Here's the protest full of regular Californians who just showed up and not violent at all at that famous Valentine's Day protest. Here's the article where they say specifically that they are not mentioning the organization. And this paragraph here directly contradicts with this title, which seems to suggest the total opposite, just like this BBC article. Here is the day that we disproved, that we showed that we were cleared by the investigation. So FPPC clears us, subpoenas bank accounts. We issued an email to 90,000 people talking about how the allegations were disproven. There's a little thing right there. We are closing this case without taking any enforcement action because the allegations have been disproven. They're in yellow. After conducting our investigation and review of the matter, we are closing the case without taking any enforcement action because the allegations have been disproven. Case closure letter, FPPC number 18-1101. Here is the Senate Select Intelligence Committee that also looked into all the interference. Nothing on us. Here's the House Select Intelligence Committee looking at all the nasty stuff that was said over these years. No mention at all. Here's the Mueller investigation. Again, said no collusion at all. Here's also the day that they released the transcripts. That's why we went with May 2020 for the House Intelligence Committee. More garbage news. So that's basically the argument that we have been cleared by multiple investigations. We will work with law enforcement, always have. The indictment does not talk about us. We were cleared of all wrongdoing by multiple investigations. This is the 5th one. They're specifically not talking about us because they can't, and the media is misrepresenting that in real time. So, and nobody bothered to call us or ask for our interview. And this follows the pattern of 2018 when after we were cleared by 4 investigations, we tried to get 35 reporters to print the truth and not one of them would do it. Which follows the pattern of the BBC suggesting something that doesn't exist. So I hope you see this is kind of the long game, right? Slander, misinterpretation, not based upon facts. Don't print the truth. Don't interview them. Don't acknowledge they were cleared by things, and just go with some sort of slander. That's what they did. We've thoroughly proven that. All right, let's take comments. If they're relevant, I'll cover them. Yeah, that's what we covered. So, oh, here. Yeah, so Brandon Fragoso is saying, enjoy prison. And then he wanted to make sure to post this up 3 times just so that we could see this going on. And then I love this. Oh, whoops, only 2 people watching. Yeah, Brandon, that's because everybody knows this is garbage. And this comment right here, enjoy prison. you are personally, sir, full of garbage, and you are personally Brandon Fragoso spreading misinformation and lies. I love showcasing this comment from you because you look really stupid right now, because literally the last 24 minutes of the show was showing how this article you're showing is full of garbage and lies. So our show is all about how the media was spreading garbage and lies, and they didn't actually say that. And Brandon Fragoso, I want to say thank you so much, because you just exemplified our point that people will spread misinformation and lies based upon misinformation and lies. Brandon, you're exactly what we're talking about. I mean, you're the guy who read that, didn't do any research, didn't read the indictment, didn't look into the background, didn't cover the fact that we were cleared by foreign investigations, and just went off and spread more mistruths and misinformation. You're exactly who we're talking about, dude. That's why we made the show, is for ignorant people like you who will not do their research, not do the reading, and continue to spread misinformation. In fact, let's not stop there. I want to cover a few more people. 1 second. If you have comments, go ahead and post them. And if you want to come on the show, please, here you go. Like I always say, if you want to come on the show, come on the show. There's the link. Always open. You want to come on the show? You can come on the show and you can say it to my face. Come on. Not scared. Always been ready. So bring it. I'm here. I'm available. I'm always ready. Anybody wants to talk. Anybody wants to debate. Come on the show. I'm always here. Always ready. If you've never seen me debate someone, it's because they didn't let me go and they were scared. Not scared of anyone. Not scared of debating anything at any time, any question. Come on. Bring it, guy. Do what you want to do. All right, let me show you a few more people who are also ignorant. Oh, yeah, here we go. 1 second. No. All right, give me 1 second. I got this. So I wanted to show you that Brandon Fragoso is not alone, and there are other people that spread misinformation like Brandon Fragoso. Let me show you real quick. So here's Larissa. Oh, interesting note. An Iranian American. Oh, I want to get to that in a second. No, here we go. So here's Zenny. California secession movement is backed by Russia, U.S. alleges. There you go. So she, figures, etc. So I want to point out, nobody in this tweet. So she's already spreading misinformation, right? Nobody in this tweet said, hey, these guys were cleared by foreign investigations. Nobody in this tweet said, hey, did they actually name the organization or did they name a person? So nobody's pointing out, did they name a person or an organization? Nobody's pointing out that we were cleared by foreign investigations. None of that. And then here's another person. Here's Charles. Oh, funded by Russia. Must be true. Again, no one mentioning that we were cleared by foreign investigations. No one mentioning that it doesn't actually say that. It says a person. So they're like Charles. It's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of people not reading, not doing their homework, taking a headline like the BBC article and just going crazy with it. So that's what I mean. Thank you, Brandon, for being the epitome of the ignorance that we are trying to fight and highlight with this video. And I want to say thank you to Larissa and Charles Davis and Zenny for also exemplifying that same level of incredible ignorance, lack of doing your homework, sensationalism, not thinking for yourself, and total lack of critical thought. But one more thing. I need to take a moment to point this out. So here's Larissa. Larissa is a Californian. But here's what interesting note: an Iranian American investor offered to bankroll the later effort, although he later retracted. So they're talking about Russia interfered. Oh, by the way, did you know an Iranian American wanted to bankroll this effort? Like Iran's behind this. Shervin Pishvar is a Californian. He's an immigrant. He grew up here. He was raised here. And he bought into this idea because he's a Californian. And for you to suggest that because of his ethnic heritage, there must be some nefarious plot is disgusting and racist and anti-Californian. So Larissa, I want you to be ashamed of yourself. You do not exemplify California values. You spit on California values when you say that because someone, because of their ethnic background, must mean this, must do that. That is a disgusting, racist American statement. You are not exemplifying California values, and I hope you are truly ashamed of yourself. It's the same thing as saying, well, Mrs. Ruiz, my mom, you're the only rich Mexican in this neighborhood, so I need to see all your maids and make sure they're not undocumented, because since you're Mexican, you must have undocumented people working there. See how they took an ethnic group and then they applied garbage slogans to them? That's you. Larissa, maybe it's time to move to America, where they like holding ethnic groups hostage and then using slogans against them. We don't do that here, and you are a disgusting, bad Californian for doing that. Brandon, thanks for staying ignorant. Thanks for showcasing it. See you later. I also want to point out, Brandon never came on the show. Nobody did. I've been sitting here waiting for minutes, never bothered to show up. Brandon, you could have said whatever you wanted. It was a live broadcast. Nobody ever dares to challenge me in a debate to my face. And I think you know why. All right, we'll see you later. We're going to get right back to actually winning CalExit. Midterm elections are coming up. Republicans are going to win. We have our new website up. We have courses online. We're doing well. Things are going big. Anybody ever wants to debate me, come on the show. We're here every Sunday. I do the show all the time. You can email me at marcus.ruiz.evans. Here you go. Oops. Give me 1 second. There's the email. Email's out there. Come on the show. Email me. I'll bring you on the show. You can say anything you want. It'll be out to the public directly, but it's live and it's recorded. So when I school you and make you look dumb and ignorant about what you're talking about in front of everybody, there's no way out of it. You're welcome to come to my trap layer anytime. Everyone's welcome. Please come on in. We'll see if you can actually meet what you're talking about or if you're just a scared keyboard warrior. See you later.